Good day, Nigerians, and welcome to Truth Line on Gampi Radio TV, where political issues are discussed. I am your host, Haji Amira Musa, and with me in the studio is Dr. Enebe Kenneth. Doctor, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Our doctor here is a public affairs and political analyst and also a researcher. But before we dive into the discussion, today we are breaking down the one thing everyone is talking about, but few understand. The main topic of discussion here is about political and public finance background shaping 2026. The macro numbers look better. Reserves are up. The naira is stable and investors are returning. But the big question is, what does that actually means for you viewers and listeners at home? Doctor, welcome once again.
Thank you.
My question is, why is the 2026 budget 10% smaller than last year?
Well, I think the number one, the government want to show to us that there are ways they want to cut budgetary expenditure down instead of going high and high. But the parameters for doing this is what we are yet to see, the effect on the people. If take for instance, you make budget in your own house, 500,000 naira last year, and this year you decided to cut it down to 400,000, for example. Now, the reason one that might be behind it is that either your source of income, is shrink, or you are not sure of generating, revenue from your sources of income, that is like government now.
Okay.
Or you want to instill discipline, that is spending discipline in that particular year, or those items of expenditures that you want to carry out in this year. There are some you must have done. They are no longer coming into the budget of this year. And once that one is taken out, you now know that your budgets have to reduce. Take for instance, if last year the federal government has about 30 roads across Nigeria to construct,
Okay.
and they budgeted for it last year, and those roads have been attended to. They released the fund last year, it has been attended to. There will be no need for you to budget those roads again this year under normal circumstances, or in a normal economy where things goes normal, where people do things normal with the fear of God. You don't need to budget for it again, so that can reduce budget.
Okay.
And we can call it as a positive move. But in a situation where some of these things we don't even see the result, even when the budget is small, we don't see the result. That you reduce the budget until when we see the result. Why is the budget reduced? Which we are not having the impact, whether it's more or less. So we don't feel the impact. So the essence of it is that explaining it looks like mirage.
Thank you, doctor, for that insight. So, doctor, my next question is, how is the 2027 election cycle affecting spending right now? Like, how do you spend?
Yes. The election cycle, whichever way it is being put, the election cycle you are talking about, it is, we have people who are there, who have got, it's not like timetable. Timetable, certainly, when you have anything to do, you do your timetable. And there have always been timetable. or election cycle in any time of electoral period, election period. And this is, we are just in one now, preparing for next election, which is 2027. Just from 2027 we are entering, or even starting from this end of this year, so to say. The spending is all about us. And don't forget, if you give somebody 1 billion last year to prepare, they will tell you that with the cost of things today, it will be around 3 billion to prepare. The cost of fuel some years ago, before this regime, is not the same thing. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So if, take for example, you said INEC is to print ballot paper, for example, and since there's no light, electricity in Nigeria, because it's everywhere, and they have to use generator. If they were buying diesel 200,000, 200 naira per liter before this regime, the same diesel is now 1,000 per liter. Of course, you know that the budget they are giving to you will be higher. So in all ramification, all this will affect the budget for 2027 elections in all ramification. Then don't forget, when I mean it will increase, both genuine and ingenuine budget put together, certainly it will increase. And there's always wastage.
Thank you, Doctor. This will take us to another question. Are we borrowing less in this 2026? And what is the catch?
Well, if we look at this, the way we are hearing, I think on the social media every day, approval is given to borrow. Even those days, you hear enough debate. You hear enough debate when there's any request to even get money or borrow money. Even if the money is internal, you will hear how it is being debated thoroughly before that money is being approved. But these days, the money must have even been taken before you hear that they've borrowed another money again. In fact, some they borrow it will only leak to know that they have borrowed money. So the speed, the speed or the rate at which the government is borrowing money now, no, we can't even give an adequate account of it. To be honest with us, it is what you hear that our media, will amplify and tell us this has happened again and the rest of them. You can't. So I think the borrowing is going higher and higher. But the most painful thing and the most dangerous aspect of it is that this borrowing, where are they spending them? Because we are not seeing the multiplying effect. This, I'm sure, money are always borrowed for a purpose.
Yes.
The purposes, those purposes, this money are borrowed. We don't see them. There's no improvement in all these areas. Is it health? Did you go to hospital today and get drugs? Even the doctors, are they paid? Is it equipment we have in the hospitals? Now you want to do ordinary malaria malaria test. Some hospitals are not good malaria test. They send you to another place. Even government hospitals, malaria.
Yes.
So this money, what are they borrowing if it is health? If it is education, go to most of our universities. Do they have any research center? Even the students, do they have where they are training them? Those who are reading engineering, medicine, what equipment do they have? They are using to train them. If the money is borrowed on education, if it is infrastructure, you see most of our roads. That the only place where I can say yes, FCT roads. Take for instance, I think we should be fair enough to say yes, we are having a good time in FCT when it comes to road, which we should give to the present minister.
Okay.
And I also want to say, without any favor, any prejudice, that we should give it to the minister, if not for another reason, and it's for the road, because this legacy is living down. One day we live there. It's not going to be there forever.
Yes.
But this legacy is living down. That we are seeing. There are ministers who have been there. They didn't do this. Even if the money was there, they didn't do all this. So we should give it to him. Just like when I said we should be able to, we should be able to say the good and the bad of a particular person.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much, Doctor. My next question is, what is changing the tax reform for small businesses?
You see, even the tax reform that we cry, it should be, it should not be, and on the rest of them. Eventually, it has come to be. It is when we started seeing the effect. When the tax reform, whether for small business or big business, we have not seen the impact. We have not seen the impact in the sense that, is it not when you are in business, you talk about tax? How many business that is surviving today? Even Barbie, a barbing salon, is it surviving? A shoemaking, is it surviving? They are not surviving. So when you are talking about tax, how do we talk about it? It's not, most of these things, there are policies on papers. They bring them maybe for certain reason and so on. And of course, charges. When you are the Nigerians that are dying to even see food to eat, they just find a way of taxing you more, even for services that are not available. Look at the NEPA, for example. They are not giving you life, but you are paying every day. You are paying every day. Look at these are little this thing. Look at what we call Go TV or DSTV and so on. They are increasing their tariff every day because they are using fuel to generate. They don't have this, and so you are paying more, and because they are equally paying more tax, especially in this dispensation. But the services they are giving us, we are not even having light to watch what they are giving us. But they now pay more to even subscribe. That's why subscribers are folding their dish. You don't even have time to eat. Even a hungry man can even watch a DSTV when you are hungry. So
thank you, Doctor. In conclusion, Doctor, in your own view as a researcher, do you think we, the Nigerians, can cope with these present financial situations?
Nobody is coping except you are a thief. And when I say except you are a thief, you must be very lucky to see where to steal. You must be very lucky. Because to even steal now is not as easy. So except you are somewhere where you can steal. Because like I said, businesses are dying. Small businesses are dying. Small businesses are dying. If you make bonds, ordinary bonds, if you make bonds, and the bonds you could not sell it, where you are supposed to preserve it so that it will not spoil, so tomorrow you can warm it and still sell. That is, it's not there. If you are supposed to preserve it in your fridge, also tomorrow you now warm it. You don't have light, and if you put inside fridge, the bonds will spoil. Do you get it? So I mean, you can't. It's not. It's just God. We know how to pray. Like as I've always said, let's say our prayer is sustaining us. Otherwise, I think it's a very serious. God will continue to help us, because since we call on God and God is supreme, we'll continue to call on God, and God will help us to survive.
So, in a brief, what can you tell our viewers, Nigerians that are watching us?
Well, Nigerians, may God, since we are godly people, we pray a lot. May that same God continue to sustain us in whatever you do. And then we should not lose hope. We should not lose hope. And I want to also plead with us. If you have a child that is stubborn, you keep on supporting that child with prayers, as you cannot do away with that child. Since we know how to pray, let's continue praying that God should help us to give us leaders that have fear in Him. It's when we talk about bad leadership, it's not only the president, but everybody look at the president. Like I said, if all the appointees, there's fear of God or humanity in them, they can do better. And I also want to use the opportunity to plead to the federal government, release money to the public. The contractor, release money for them so that this money can go down. Release money to them. Don't hold money down. You borrow money, you are not giving it out to contractors that work for you. You do this, you are not paying what's supposed to. How do you want money to circulate so that small people can also get something to do something? So Nigerians, keep on praying, since we know how to pray. And we should also continue to go. We should learn skill. People should think, no, there's no age limit to learn skill. So know how. Today, if you go around now, there are two things that is said. There are two business that everybody is going to. Even though you are a medical doctor, you are an engineer, you go for cooking. Because no, people must chop.
Must eat, yes.
And the type of cooking you go in for, you cook differently.
Exactly.
The one wey meat dey well well, that's when get money go buy that one. The one wey meat no dey, just pepper and this, you do that one. When you call, which one you want? If na the rice, when the only pepper, you give am, at least just put something inside the top. Thank you very much.
Doctor, thank you, doctor, for having you in the studio today. Thank you very much for this wonderful insights.
Thank you very much.
We hope to see you again.
Thank you. I always answer when I'm called.
Thank you very much. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Viewers, yes, the macro story is improving. Results are up. The naira is stable and investors are watching again. But we are seeing the path from those numbers to your kitchen table is still long. Keep watching, keep asking questions, and hold power accountable, because policy only work if it works for us. I remain your host, Amira Musa. Thank you. On True Line Gampi Radio TV. Stay informed, stay engaged. I will break it down again next time. Thank you.
Thank you.